What is a prop firm? I'm sure some of you have heard of what a prop firm is. So, by definition, a prop firm or a proprietary firm is a company that provides traders with capital to trade financial markets. So, what is the concept? Is what is a prop firm? It's basically a group of investors that have a lot of money and they're looking for traders to invest into. So, let's say they give you $100,000. They only want a portion of that money back, which is better than leaving it at a bank and getting 2 to 3% a year when they could just invest it with a really good, skilled trader that gives them 2 to 3% a month. So when the traders earn profits, the investors earn a part of it and the traders earn a lot of it. So how exactly do they work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So first, funding. Prop firms provide traders with their own capital, which reduces the trader's own personal risk. We use Apex Trader Funding, which gives you access to a 25K account, 50K, 100K, 250, $500,000 account. So you could potentially trade $500,000 with Apex. But first, you have to pass one of their tests. And now that makes sense. You have to prove you're a talented trader for them to give you money. So they say you have to have at least 7 days, not consecutively, just 7 days of good, profitable trading, and then you have to pass that test. So for a 25K account, the test is you need 7 days of good, consistent trading, right? And you also need to make $1,500 before you lose $1,500. That's what the test is. After you pass that test and you start making money, there's a profit sharing agreement. So traders keep a large percentage of the profits. With Apex, it's 90%. You keep 90% of what you make, while the prop firm takes their share as a return on their investment, which makes sense. So example, a prop firm might offer $50,000 to a trader. The trader makes $10,000 in profit in a month. The firm takes 30% and the trader keeps 70%, which is $7,000. Sounds pretty basic, sounds pretty easy enough, right? Just go in, pass the test, get funded, boom, you're a profitable trader. Wrong. That could not be farther from the truth. This is what they want you to believe. Now, why would they want you to believe that? So they can make more money. That's literally it. How they actually work. Funding. How much money do you actually have? So let's go back to our example, a 25K account. If you have a 25K account, but you can only lose 1,500 before you make 1,500, that means you do not have a 25K account. That means you have a $1,500 account, not a 25K. So really, your funding is only $1,500 before you lose it. So why would you trade a bigger margin with more leverage, with more contracts, when you actually only have $1,500 to trade with? Again, with a $50,000 account, let's say it's $3,000. You can only afford to lose $3,000 before you make $3,000. You don't have a $50,000 account. You only have a $3,000 account. And even when you do get funded, after you've already passed everything, if you lose past your certain point, if you have a 25K account and you make $50,000, but then little by little you start losing and you're back at 25K and then you lose an additional $1,500. So your total for your account is $23,500. You will blow your account. You will no longer be funded. And that goes for any. So remember, if you ever go below the amount of margin you have for a 25K account, which is the most common, if you go below $23,500, you will blow your account, even though you are funded. So you really only technically have $1,500 to trade with. They only say you have 25K, so you can trade bigger and bigger and bigger and actually blow the account. Why do they want you to blow the account? Well, that goes into one of their tests. You have to pay for their tests, either a monthly fee or a one-time fee. For Apex, using our discount, it's $30 every single month. If you pass it on the first month, you only pay $30. And then to actually get funded, you have to have a signature, which means you have to pay either $100 a month or a $150 lifetime. So you only pay $150 once. That's still $180 per person that they have minimum, right? Because you could fail a test time and time again, and you could get funded and then fail and blow through accounts just as easy. So again, It's not a 25K account, it's a $1,500 account. And how hard is it to pass one of their tests and become funded? Well, it's actually pretty hard. Let me hit you with a harsh reality check, but it's important for you to know so that you can understand that it's not easy. You will not become a millionaire overnight, even though you have a $500,000 account and you're funded. Let's talk about leveraging, and it's why it's the reason that 95% of traders fail time and time again. When you trade with a prop firm, you have two options when it comes to contract size. You either have a mini or a micro. A mini contract is $20 per point. A micro is $2 per point. So every point it goes up, you either get 20 or you get 2. Every point it goes down against you, you either get 20 or you get 2. It doesn't really sound like a lot, right? $2 per point. That's why people actually use multiple contracts at once. They'll go with 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. So they make $40 or $100 per point. Here's what people forget, or actually, here's what people don't know. The big players, the banks, the institutionals, everybody that's anybody that trades in the actual stock market makes $1 per point. Not 2, which is the minimum you can have, or 20. They make $1 per point and they're happy. They're glad. Imagine that, banks with hundreds of millions of dollars and they trade using half of a micro contract. Again, you trade with an Apex account, the smallest one, a 25K with a minimum of 1 micro contract, which is technically 2 stock contracts because you're making $2 per point. You're still set up to fail. Let me broaden your perspective just a little bit. One real life Nasdaq market contract on the stock market right now costs about $20,000. You need $20,000. So you need to invest that 20 grand into the stock market and buy 1 contract so you can make $1 per point. So an initial investment of 20 grand for $1 per point. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? And yet every single bank, every single big player, every single institutional, anybody that understands the market and how it works and has large amounts of money, unfathomably large amounts of money, all trade that way, making $1 per point. Just think about it this way. You start off with 2 contracts, which is disguised as 1, which is a micro contract. They want your money to go into their hands. You ever wonder why you can't hold an operation overnight on a prop firm, or why that even a small market movement of 40 points blows through all of your accounts while banks, big players, institutionals can hold through hundreds of points going down and yet not even sweat? That's because of the leverage. You are trading way too big. In the coming lessons, I will teach you how to leverage properly. Prop firms also have a very, very strict set of rules that you have to follow. Whether it be you can't have a trade this long, you can't trade during the news, or so much more. They have a whole set of rules that are very, very strict that you need to follow or else they won't pay you out. We know that those rules are strict, but this is actually really, really good for you because it's the best way to become a disciplined trader. Could you imagine trading without these rules when you're just trading whatever and you're just careless with your money? The prop firm does not want you to be careless with their money. So that's why they have these set of rules. And it's the same set of rules you should also follow. So why, after all of that, would we still use prop firms? There's still some really big advantages. First, let's remember our goal. See, our ultimate aim is to become a funded trader who consistently performs well, which leads to continuous funding from the actual prop firm. If you're good enough, they will hook up their millions of dollars to your account and they'll keep paying you out every month you go. And at some point, if you're good enough, they will actually hire you to become a trader for them. And they'll pay you the really big bucks to just keep going and going and going. Next is reduce personal risk. It's way easier to pay 30 bucks a month to pass the test and then a $100 one-time fee to lose somebody else's thousands of dollars than it is to lose your own personal $1,000 that you might need for an emergency fund or that you need for that mortgage. It's way easier to lose other people's fake money than it is to lose your own real money. And plus, remember that margin. A trader with $1,000 in personal capital can only take very, very super small positions and barely make any money. But when the prop firm provides you with $100,000, that trader can take larger positions, increasing their personal profits. Trade small. You have to trade small. You cannot afford to trade big. You cannot afford to trade with 1 or 2 mini contracts or even 2 micro contracts because you will lose all of your money. It's proven. I see it time and time again with people that work with Quantico Cap, that talk to me on Discord, that hit me up on Instagram. They're like, hey, I've lost all of my money. And then I ask, I do calls, I see what's going on, and they say, oh, I'm trading with 2 mini contracts. I'm trading with 5 mini contracts. Why is that a problem? Because you're going to lose all of your money like that. When you trade small, it allows you to take more heat, meaning you can go negative into your account a little bit more because it's actually less. It allows you to take way more heat and let your strategy work to its best degree. Sometimes your strategy gives you a perfect entry, but then the market goes down because of aggression. And then if you're trading too big, you can't afford to take this. So you have to take a stop. And then it goes all the way back up. How many times does that happen to you? That's why you need to trade small. If you were trading small, you would be able to go hold out the heat and then wait for it to come right back up. Focus on making 20 to 40, 50 bucks, a maximum $100 every single day. You have to trade small. Now you might be thinking, I can't live off of $100 a day. I'm trying to trade. I'm trying to live my life. I need to pay mortgages. I have kids. I have car payments. I have everything. I hear you and I understand. And that's why this very obvious secret comes to play. And it's actually the key to changing your life. You have to leverage accounts and not contracts. What do I mean by that? Most prop firms, including Apex, allows you to have multiple accounts. Apex allows you to have up to 20 accounts. They have their own copy trade system. So whichever one is the group account, the group leader account, all of the accounts that are under that group will follow that first trade that you put in. So let's say I put in a buy, all of the other accounts are going to put in a buy. I put in a sell, all of them are going to put in a sell. I exit manually, all of them are going to exit manually. They have their own copy trade system. So whatever you do on one account happens to all of the other accounts. Of course, if you win or lose, it'll go into the other accounts as well. But that's the key. It's easier to make $100 on 10 accounts than it is to make $1,000 on one account. Think about that for a second. It's easier to make $100 on 10 accounts than it is $1,000 on one account. And if you're an actual trader, you know that's true. If you have a good strategy and you're able to take a little bit more heat, and when it comes to trading, and you can go and actually use your strategy to its best degree and make 20 bucks on every single account, you're winning. You're doing a lot more than the guy that was trading way too big, trying to get rich quick, and then have to stop out every single time because they're blowing through accounts left, right, and center. If you have a good strategy and you're able to take way more heat, then it'll be a lot easier. Because when you trade small, it takes out so much stress and allows your strategy to work to its best degree. And then with the multiple accounts you have, let's say you have 40 bucks. You take that 40 bucks on each one of your 20 accounts, which is the max Apex will have. And now you have $800 on the day from that 40 bucks that you thought you would not be able to live with. 40 bucks on one account, and you copy it to all 20, you now have $800 on the day. And now there's 20 tradable days a week. Let's say you stick with that average of making 40 bucks every single day, which is a decent average. 40 bucks every single day on 20 tradable accounts with 20 tradable days, and that makes it 16 grand a month, which is a lot more doable than 40 bucks a day. You just went from 40 bucks a day and not being able to live it with to making 20 accounts to making that same 40 bucks every single day to 16 grand. And that's the power of having the multiple accounts. Now you can take more heat, you can allow your strategy to work even better, and you can actually make a living. And that's why we trade with the prop firms. Once you learn the secret to never blow through another account, you will beat the game. You will win. You will succeed. Remember, prop firms are not the enemy. Prop firms want you to succeed. They want to fund you. They are begging to find traders that they can fund because they want to make money. They are your friend and they have that set of rules. They even give you the account so you can trade more and more and more. All you have to do is learn how to succeed, learn how to win. And you can do that by using multiple accounts and not contracts.